this video I'll be showing you how I make my own finishing wax for end grain cutting boards. I'm going to make a 4:1 ratio, that's 4 parts mineral oil to 1 part beeswax. I'm also going to make a mix that has some carnuba wax in it. I've read that carnuba wax gives a little extra shine to the board, so I'd like to try that out. I've never made it before and I've been wanting to, so I thought this would be a good opportunity. After I make these mixes, I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison on a cutting board so we can see how they compare. So these are the ingredients I'll be using. I've got some white mineral oil. I've got some white beeswax. You can get yellow beeswax as well. It's less refined. I don't use it anymore because I feel that it discolors the maple. It gives it a little bit of a yellow hue, and I prefer to keep the maple in my cutting boards as white as possible. So I stick to the white beeswax now. And also I'm going to use a little bit of this carnuba wax. I buy all this stuff on Amazon. I live in the Republic of Ireland and it's difficult to get things. There's not a lot of stores that you can just run to and buy products like these, but I'm very grateful that I can order them online. The 4:1 ratio, 4 parts mineral oil to 1 part beeswax. I'll show you what it looks like. It's pretty soft. I can just push my finger right into it, no problem. It's kind of like a like paste. I'll show you the one with the carnuba wax. Okay, so this is the carnuba blend. It's harder. I'm pushing. Can't really get my finger in there as easy as the other one. It's it's definitely harder to squeeze. But still, I think it will spread on the board easily. And I made another one off camera. I did one 50% beeswax and 50% oil, so just half and half. I was curious to see how that would go. And that one, give you a look. Wow, that's much harder than the one with the carnuba wax. I can't even get my finger down into that. I get scraped a little off the top. It's boy, it's harder than chapstick. But I think I like that one. Sometimes when I'm working on a board like this one here that has been oiled and has been waxed before, and I've been cutting on it, and it just gets a bit dry like this one is now. When I go to condition it with the 4:1 ratio, sometimes that's a little too oily for me. Like you gotta do it at night. I leave it out all night on edge, and let it dry. But even in the morning, it hasn't soaked up all of the oil. So that's why I wanted to try the half and half mix, just to see if it, sealed it up and dried a little quicker, didn't leave me with an oily board in the morning. So this is the plan. I've got 3 different boards here. This one's brand new. I had it soaking in mineral oil. I left it out, racked it, let it dry out. It's never been conditioned with any kind of wax and oil mix at all. I have this board, which has been in use for a little bit. It's an experimental board. It's really quite thin. It's like 17 millimeters, and I just wanted to see what that was like to have a thin end grain cutting board. Turns out when they get wet, they warp quite a bit, but they do dry flat again when they dry. And the third board here is another board I've had in our kitchen for some time. It's been needing some oil on it, some conditioner, and so I've just put it off. But I figured it'd be a good board to experiment on. And I'll divide each board up into 3 sections and put a bit of each type of finish on the 3 sections, and then compare how the sheen is and how it soaks in. Looking at the sheen, I don't see any real difference. I don't feel any difference either on this board. Not seeing any great difference in the sheen on this board from one finish to the next. Maybe a little more shine on the carnuba end in the half and half section. But yeah, so I got the light on it on this end. I think it's just the lighting. There's nothing really noticeable on this board either. So this was a fairly old and tired board. Not a lot of sheen. Could stand to be resanded. But I don't see any difference in any of the, in one finish from the other. There's not enough of a difference for me to want to use one finish over the other. I would just use whatever was convenient. So what have I learned from doing all this? Well, I've learned that the ratio of your wax to oil isn't critical. I've noticed that a lot of people prefer a 4-to-1 ratio. I've seen some people say 5-to-1, that sort of thing. But I don't think it really matters all that much. I think it's just your personal preference. I can say though that too much wax tends to leave a bit of color in the grain. So if it's a white wax, you'll see a bit of a white hue to the grain in the darker woods and the more porous woods. I didn't notice any wax left behind in the maple. It does have a tighter grain and it is a lighter wood anyway. But for me, the biggest takeaway is that the 50-50 mix will suit me best for finished boards. Boards that I've already soaked in oil, that I've let dry, and that I just want to get some wax on to seal. The 50-50 mix allows the wax to go on fairly dry and then be ready for wrapping, packaging, and selling much quicker. So in the future, that's what I'm going to do. I'll use the 50-50 mix for finished boards. But for conditioning boards that have been used that just need some moisture, need to soak up some oil, I'm going to stick with the 4-to-1 mix for that. And the carnuba, I don't see any benefit to that myself. I notice absolutely no extra shine as a result. But again, it could just be personal preference. Until next time, bye.